All right, cool. I think I'm gonna get started. And basically what this class is gonna go over is just some of the ways you can take advantage of the Google Suite that's included with your Keller Williams account. And I'm not sure a lot of people are aware that they do give you this whole suite of tools for free, including the Google Drive, which if you're not paying for it on a regular account, um, you only have such a limited amount of space. But with the Keller Williams account that we give you, you have an unlimited amount of drive space that you can use. So it's super useful. And especially now when we're going to be doing a lot of stuff on the go and on like a virtual platform, taking advantage of those tools would be super beneficial. So I'm going to go over just some of the ways you can access the Google Suite, how you can do things with the Drive, and then if anybody has questions along the way, just feel free to shout some stuff out.
Chris, can I ask a question to start?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Okay. So I wasn't quite sure what this was going to be all about. I was starting to think that maybe, you know, how you and I have had a discussion about just the Google business page kind of thing. Is this related to that at all or no? Oh boy, it looks like something froze. Are you there? Chris? We're not hearing you, Chris. You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, my Zoom crashed.
Yeah, I see two of you now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm back.
So
what
did you hear what I said or no?
No.
Okay, I wasn't quite sure what this was really going to be all about. For some reason, when I first looked at it, I thought maybe it was going to be regards to what I've spoken to you about a little bit with the Google kind of business page type thing, or is that related to this or no?
We can go over that too. Yeah, because that's part of the whole suite. So
Okay.
we can definitely go over that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm just going to get started, and as I mentioned, this is going to be going over the Google Suite and how you can use a lot of the things that we currently provide for free. So I'm going to jump in, and the way that you can access any of these tools, if we go to google.com, and I'm just going to switch over to my KW account here. And let me share my screen as well. Sorry, that would have been nice. All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
So from here, and I'm going to be trying to also admit people in here as I go, because right now the room is passworded and it's been a little bit of a pain. So I will do the best I can to kind of handle all this at the same time. All right, so I'm on Google, and how you can access the Google Suite is right next to my profile here is a little box with like these little squares. And within those little squares, you can see here I have access to quite a few different things right now. Gmail, of course, my Google Drive, Docs, Sheets, Slides, Calendar, Google Plus, which I don't know if we still even use that anymore, but you do have some limited access to that. And then the other thing is My Business. So this is where I can actually essentially manage my business page on Google. One other thing that I don't think a lot of agents realize is that you do have a YouTube account connected with your Google account as well. So that KW email that you have, it actually does have a Google or a YouTube account attached to it. So if you're looking to upload video to YouTube, you can definitely take advantage of that KW email account, and you'll be able to do that with that.
How did you get My Business? This is Rhoda. I'm sorry. I did that and I don't see it.
Well, I'm going to go over that in a little while, and I'll show you how you can get that.
All right.
So I want to just start here, just going over the basic stuff. So Google Drive, is everybody aware of what Google Drive is or what it does?
Yes.
Well, why don't you give us a quick summary?
So basically what Google Drive is, it's essentially like cloud storage. And if you recall, and it's not letting me let this person in anyway. If you're familiar with a service like Dropbox, where you're paying like however much per month to have like, 100 gigs of storage, with the KW account, you actually get a Google Drive that's pretty much unlimited with its space. And I think that's a huge selling point, especially when you are constantly on the go, you're uploading files into it. You run out of space eventually, but with the KW account, you actually have it, for an unlimited amount of people. Sorry, I'm just keep getting
Can I
all
ask
these
a
people
question
joining
again?
in.
So,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, can I ask you another question? Because you keep
what's
saying
up?
with the KW account, I don't, oh, can you hear me or no?
Yeah,
Chris,
I
can
can
you
hear
hear
you.
me? Jeannie? Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
You keep referring to the KW account. What are you referring to? Their email? Because I don't use the KW email address.
yeah. The KW email is attached to a Google account, and that Google account gives you access to these tools. So even if you're still using a Google account, but it's not the KW one, you still have access to all this stuff.
Okay.
But specifically with the Google Drive, you have unlimited space with the Keller Williams one.
Yeah, I mean, because I already have like a YouTube page too, so it doesn't matter if you
Yeah,
have a KW account, right? Really?
right. Yeah, but this is like, as I mentioned, this is all stuff that you're still provided to you with the KW account as well. So if you're an agent who likes to have some of these things separated, like I myself, I like to have my work stuff separated from my personal. So all my KW stuff goes into my KW Gmail stuff. And I also use the YouTube page as well. But under Google Drive, just to kind of go into it and show you what it looks like. Basically from in here, you can manage any of the files that you have coming in and out. As you can see, I have some folders. I have files that I would have been accessing previously. Files that I've uploaded as just single files, because you can drag and drop in here as well. You can also use this new button to do a file upload or create a folder upload. You can also use this to create a new folder. So I can just say like test. And then within this test folder, I can upload, any type of file I want. Let's say I want to go through my desktop and I want to just upload a file in here. It's all drag and drop. One other cool thing about this is that you can give your files share access. So if you're looking to share this out to somebody maybe on your team, or you're looking to share it to a client for them to review something, you do have a bunch of other options available. So you can see here on the top, I can create a share link. I can actually add somebody to collaborate with, because you can share this, and it does allow you to put in an email. Now, one thing to consider when you're working with the KW Google accounts, if you're working with another KW agent, it's going to ask you to provide a KW email. You can still share it, but there's some settings in here that you can set up. So if I go to advanced real quick, you see here where it says, these are all the permission settings. So you could turn it on for anybody who has the link, or anybody who is within the Keller Williams Realty company, anybody at Keller Williams Realty with the link. So they have a few different settings in here that you can switch on and off. I typically use this one here, but if I'm going to be just sharing it out to somebody via email, it changes the settings based on that. That makes sense. And sorry, I'm just kind of popping people in here as they come in, because for some reason, the settings didn't change when I set that to not have a waiting room. So as you can see, I uploaded a file in here. I created a folder. Now I can also share that folder. There's a little drop down here, and you can see here I can rename it. I can then get a share link here as well. I can download this. And as I mentioned, the storage in here is unlimited, so I'm not worried about going over storage. One other cool thing about this, and I think this will become useful as we start moving out of dot loop, is that you can actually use this to archive your loops. So let's say I want to create a folder for all the previous transactions I had, any of the previous loops. You'll be able to actually use your Google Drive to take those old loops out and then put them into here. There are some systems as well that help kind of facilitate that, so it can kind of automate the process a little bit. And if anybody's interested, I can send them the information. But you can still do it manually as well, and Google Drive is definitely a good way to do that. And because you're not worried about storage space in here, you can even, you can put however many loops you need in here. Other things you can add in here is video, because you can share out videos. Obviously the documents, photos. If you have photos taken from a professional photographer, definitely you can pop them in here as well. I think it makes it a little bit easier, especially when you're looking to gather photos for a virtual tour or for the MLS, and you just want to have them somewhere that you can access them quickly. I find the Google Drive to be very good with that as well, because you can organize things. And I believe if you have a Mac, they do have a desktop, like a desktop shortcut you can use. That way, if you want to access this from your Finder, you can do that from here. Like I have iCloud Drive. I believe they have one for Chrome and for Google Drive. Is that clear so far? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. So again, with Google Drive, I use this all the time just for basically everything that I do. So like I said, I like to separate my work stuff from my personal, and I use my Google Drive to kind of keep track of, my documents. You can see here I have a bunch of different spreadsheets in here. A lot of folders. You can see I'm using these folders quite a lot. And then this is also organized based on the date that I last modified. So you can see here all these documents that I currently have in here are going in the order that I last opened them or created them. You can sort this however you want. They do have a tool here to sort. You can see here I have a list view. I can also sort it by when it was last modified. You can also see this drop down, last modified by me or name. So it's very, very user friendly.
And just to reiterate, it's unlimited?
It is, yeah. On your KW account, the Google Drive is unlimited. So you have essentially as much space as you can take up.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was one thing that I was really excited about, because I'm paying for Google Drive. So I'm paying for it on my personal account. But with the KW account, you can literally, it's like endless. You can put as much stuff in there as you want. So from here, since we're already inside of Google Drive, you do have access to some other tools. So if you never used Google Drive, which I'm sure all of you have, you do have access to some other tools in here as well. So I have my Google Docs, I have my Google Slides, Google Sheets, and you can see here I can also pull up additional things, Google Forms, drawings. I never used that one. Google My Maps. Quite a lot of different things in here. But these are the main three, and that's why they appear here first. I'm sure you all are using Google Slides or Google Sheets in some capacity. This is another thing that I highly suggest too, because for me, unless I was paying for Microsoft Office, which does the same things, I can do it all in here for free. So these are all provided to you under your Google account. And it has the same exact functionality as a service like Microsoft Word or PowerPoint or even Excel. So when I'm editing documents or if I'm editing spreadsheets, I actually do it through all of my Google stuff. So let's say here we want to create a form or a document. We can just hit Google Docs. And one other really nice thing about Google Docs is that they do have templates in here. So if I click on File, I hit New, you can see I can create a document from just a blank sheet, or I can go from a template. And under here, you can see all the different types of templates that I currently have. Now that I'm actually in here, I noticed that KW also provides you some stuff. You can see here the 135, the 411 action goal worksheet, 30, 60, 90 templates. This is awesome. Buyer templates, fast track to cap. And you can see here, these are all provided under Keller Williams. Now they do have some general ones as well. You can see here just my average, just kind of pre-created templates in here. Awesome. So let's say we want to use this 135. Just going to open that up here and you can see what it looks like. So this is the 135 provided by KW. You can see here and here, this is all editable as well, so I can go and edit the numbers if I needed to. But then this gives me some of my goals, strategies. And I can edit this as well. This is all editable. One other thing that I do like about these particular documents and these systems as well is that you can have collaborators. So let's say I wanted to collaborate with another person on my team, or I wanted to invite somebody in here to also view it. You can do that simply by clicking on share. And then again, it's going to give you the option to share this to somebody on your team or within your company. You can add a note as well. You can see here, as I'm sharing this to them, I can give them the ability to edit this. I can also share it directly in a link. So if I wanted to just send it to them in a text, you can do that as well. So this is quite powerful. And again, it's something that you're provided to for free under your Keller Williams email account. And as I mentioned, they did add some templates in here that you can use, which is pretty awesome. All right, so let's jump back into my drive. Oops. Gonna jump back into my drive here. So as I'm working in my drive, as I mentioned, you can still go back in here and you can access different types of tools. So Google Sheets is, everybody familiar with Google Sheets and Google Slides?
No.
Google Sheets is basically like your spreadsheet service that's provided by Google. So think of it as like your Microsoft Excel. Same functionality. I can go into Sheets here. And within Sheets, it's going to look like your basic spreadsheet. And I can go ahead and just put in, test number 1, test 2, test 3. Basically how your average editor would work. You can also open up spreadsheets in here as well. So if you have a spreadsheet on your computer, you can do that as well. I've uploaded some into my drive before, so you can see recents. And let's say I want to open up a spreadsheet here. Let me see if I have one of my Keller Williams command ones. Let's do this. So you can upload your own. Yep, sorry, couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry. Question while you're doing this. So if I wanted to save, let's say my Excel, or in Mac, it's numbers.
Yeah.
If I wanted to save my spreadsheet, do I put it into just drop it in the Google Drive, or do I drop it in Google Spreadsheet?
You can just drop it into the drive because it will open up in there.
Okay.
So as soon as you upload a spreadsheet into your drive, it becomes like a file like this. And you see here it has that little icon next to it. That means that it's a file that you can open up within that service. So you can do that with CSV files. You can do that with Excel spreadsheets. I believe with numbers, you could export it as an Excel file. I don't think natively Google will allow you to open up a numbers document. So whenever I'm exporting from numbers, I would just make it into either a CSV or some sort of Excel document.
Okay.
Same thing with pages. So if anybody in here is working on Macs, Pages also lets you export as a document, and you can import that into here. It'll work. Page files won't open. And then if you're using something like Keynote, which is the other equivalent of PowerPoint or slides, you just want to make sure you're exporting that as a slideshow, a PowerPoint one. Because natively, I don't believe this will open those yet. Does that make sense? Cool. And sorry that I'm kind of pausing because I'm going back to make sure everybody's able to get in here. So if you see me pause every once in a while, it's just because I'm going to allow participants in here. All right,
That's
cool.
okay.
So yeah,
Hey,
no
Chris.
worries.
Sorry, this is
Yes.
Paul Nordhaug out of Village Square. I got on late. We had a little, excuse me for
Yeah.
that password issue, but I can access this, as you say, off my KW email account.
Correct. Yep.
Just,
And you can see
Go-
that I'm under it now because it has the little KW there as well.
okay, I see that.
Yep. So there's actually another shortcut button here as well. So in addition to clicking on new and then being able to do pretty much all this through Drive, you can click this little drop down here, Google Apps, and it does give you the same kind of stuff in here as well. Somebody asked me about my business.
Yeah, sorry, that
So-
was Rhoda.
Yeah, I'm going to show you how you can access that portion of Google. And if you haven't already did it, that's typically why you haven't seen it in this list. But if I go and just go, we'll do Google Business. If you click on this here, the first thing it's going to ask you to do, and I can't walk through it right now because mine is already created, but basically what you would have to do is you would hit Manage Now, and then it's going to walk you through a couple steps to getting it set up. So the first step is going to be choosing a name, and I can show you mine just so you can see what it looks like, but it's going to walk you through these steps. Oh, let's try it out since we're in here. So if you're on the same page as me right now, it's going to ask you what type of name do you want to have? And typically what I would do is I would make it my name, and I would do sales associate at Keller Williams City Views. So the reason why I'm doing that as well is because I'm creating additional keywords. So sales associate, Keller Williams City Views, those are all different keywords. So if somebody happens to Google me with any one of those words, like phrases, my last name, sales associate, or Keller Williams, this is more likely to pop up because once Google indexes it with those words and you try to Google your name, you'll most likely pop up with your business page. So that's why I'm doing it like this.
Okay,
Chris, is sales better than saying realtor or real estate?
You can put you can put real estate agent, realtor would probably work as well, or broker associate. I know I see some agents who put like top agent in this specific town.
Oh,
I usually steer away from putting a specific town, but I tend to just keep it with whatever, my office, because you can always go back and change this later on. So as I move through this, the next thing it's going to ask me to do is kind of just confirm the name as it's showing me here. And if I hit next, the next thing it's going to do is ask me what my business category is. And anybody who's in here right now, I have this also being recorded on Facebook. So if you're looking to watch this again later, it's going to be on there.
okay,
So business category, I would just put real estate agents because you can't put it as a single for some reason. So real estate agents is the category. And you said you can always change and add more later. So next step, we're going to go ahead and choose a location. And it says this location will show up on Google Maps and searches when customers are looking for your business. I usually put this as no, because if you try to put the exact office address, typically what it asks you to do is confirm from the owner. So whoever claimed that address previously would have to essentially give you access to it. So I would always put no here. And then it's going to ask me my locations or places of interest that I cover. I can just put either counties, I can put towns. So I can put like Bergen County if I wanted, or Hudson County. And then I can also add towns, I can put, it's giving me like suggested areas based on where I'm located. So I can say like, I'm primarily doing business in Ridgefield Park or Palisades Park, whatever. So as I go ahead and hit next, it's going to walk me through one last thing, which is putting in my contact details. And I'll just put in my office number, and I'll just put my website in there, .com. This can be your KW username, or this can be your KW URL. Or if you have a website that you had purchased a domain for, you can just use that. Next thing I want to do is hit next. And then it's going to say finish and manage this listing. You'll be able to manage this on Google. And I'm not going to hit finish because I don't want to create it. But basically, I want to just go into my one that I had created. I'll show you. So let me go into my drive again, my business. So you see here on the top how I have mine. And it looks like this one I was in Valley. So you can see here how I had mine. I didn't verify it because I wasn't actually going to create it. But basically what it would ask you to do is once you hit verify, it's going to ask you to just verify the address that you're currently located at. And that's why you can see here it's asking me to verify because I haven't done that. As you log into this, a big component of this is just your profile. So things like if I go into info here, it's going to give me some of the profile information. Again, my service areas, my hours I can add, my phone number, web address, things like services that I provide. A lot of this is going to be optional, but you can fill it out if you wanted to. So that's why I'm just showing you where this is. And I'm still, right now I'm in Google Business. And how I accessed that was this here on Google Apps, My Business.
Oh,
So as you, what was that?
oh, I see now. Yes.
Cool.
Okay.
So that will become one of your shortcuts now. So you see here I have all my different shortcuts.
Yes.
My Business will become a new shortcut. And then you have also access to things like your calendar, your contacts. Very useful. So think of this as almost like your toolbar. And these are the different tools that are provided to you. I haven't actually used Meet, but I think it's similar to Google Hangouts where you can set up meetings. If anybody in here has used it before, let me know. And Calendar, I think everybody should be familiar with at least. I'll go into Calendar just to show you the functionality. Now it's very similar again to how the other tools work. I have access to my daily calendar. This is my monthly view. I can also do it by week if I wanted. And if I do it by weekly, you can see here it gives me a nice little drop down with all the different things happening today. Now, if I wanted to add anything onto the calendar, let's say I have a, I have a Zoom call with a client tomorrow. I can just go into this little calendar here and I can just click on one of the times. Let's say it's going to be at 12. And I can say meeting with client. We'll just say Zoom. Now, what I can also do under more options is I can go ahead and I can add, event locations. I can add a conferencing link, which would be the Hangouts. Under description, I can also add a link back to that particular Zoom room. I can add my guests. So this is obviously where I'm going to invite people to come in. And one other good thing that I like about Google Calendar specifically is that it connects with my my phone. So if you're working on an iPhone, and I believe on Android too, it's the same thing. You can log into your Google account from your phone, and that will sync your calendar to your phone. So not only would it allow you to create new events on your phone, it'll sync it to your calendar on your desktop as well. So those are just some of the things that I really like about this particular Google Suite, and the ability to have access to essentially everything in here. I see a hand raised. Let me just go ahead and unmute you real quick. So Debbie, you had a question?
Yeah, hi, Chris. I have a question. So this is through your Google account.
Mhm.
Can you add a second person if we have a 2 Rainmaker team? So would we be able to add a second person or no? Only one
So
person will have.
you can add collaborators. The thing is that you can't add multiple accounts under one account, if that makes sense. But if I wanted to add this calendar, let's say I set up my April calendar and I want to collaborate with another team member.
Mm-hmm.
If I go down to here, this is the calendar, right?
Yep.
I can go where it says settings and sharing. And then under this here, I can add the collaborator that I want to share it to. So you see here, share with specific people.
Right.
So once I hit add, anytime I'm working on this particular calendar, that person would also have access to that.
Okay.
And then they would be able to edit and do as whatever they had to as well.
Okay. And what about just like the My Business page in general? That would only be one person that would be able to edit or whatever.
Right, correct.
Okay.
But you
Okay.
could make it as if you're working under a team. You would just name this differently.
Right. Yeah. Our admin actually set it up. So she's the one that has
I
access
see.
to it. So that's why I was asking
Yeah,
if you could,
I can
Okay.
look into maybe, let's see, linked accounts. I think in here you can actually link people into it. Let me see if there's a settings here for sharing. Because I never tried actually sharing these out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might just have to like research that a little bit, but I'm sure there's a way to actually give like some sort of like admin functions in here, maybe
Right.
users.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
it's not that it has to be accessed constantly, but
Yeah, here you go. You can add new users.
okay. So
So under this users menu, she can
users.
add you as like a kind of like a collaborator.
Okay.
You can see here,
Perfect.
you can choose a role.
Excellent.
So you
Okay.
can have her do that for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool. So not too much stuff really to go over right now, because I think we kind of covered all the stuff that I wanted to show. Did anybody have any additional questions?
Yes, I do, Chris, actually.
Yeah.
Um, uh, on the docs and all those, oh gosh, I forgot what my question was. I should have written it down. Oh, on
Okay.
the links thing,
Yeah.
we're creating the links.
Mhm.
Is there a way that we can use that to, like if we send an ad out on Facebook, let's say, is there a way we could create that as a phone number for them to call us directly or link to us directly somehow?
So are you saying like if you wanted to create like a lead capture form,
Yes.
you can actually do that here. They have something called forms.
Okay.
So if we go into Google Forms, let's just say we're going to go from a template, and I'm in Google Drive again, so I haven't really left Google Drive.
Okay.
So one of the good things about Google Drive is that once you start working with any of these products, it's going to automatically save a copy into your drive. So let's say you closed out your computer, like, oh, dang, I was just working on that document. It's already going to be saved.
Oh, good.
So let's just do, we'll do a form. Whoops. Let's go into here. We'll go to forms. We'll do from a template.
Okay.
So let's say I wanted to do something like creating a open house sign-in sheet, or just maybe just like a questionnaire for them to fill out, and I can send them out something later on.
Okay.
So you could definitely use one of these. Let's just use, I'll use a general template here, and we'll just do this one. And you could work off a blank one as well. But basically here, if I click on any one of these things, I can change this like, say like, what is your home worth?
Mhm.
And then it's going to be something like, fill out the questionnaire below and we will be in touch.
Mhm.
And then here they would just fill out their name, email, phone number. This we can get rid of because this doesn't really apply to us. So that's why we can also delete these fields. Phone number we have, and we can just delete this one here as well. Once they submit this, this is going to go into your database. Well, not your command database, but it's going to go into your Google contacts.
Ah,
Now,
that-
I believe you can also set this up to where it will capture it. Let me see, because I haven't actually used this too much, so I'm kind of like working off it as we go. Let's see if I can collect email addresses, and then trying to see if there's a way where I can have it go to a specific place.
will it collect phone numbers as well?
Yeah, because I have it here to collect a phone number. So that's already set.
Okay.
Well, let's see. I'm going to see how this will preferences. Let's see if I send this. There has to be a way for me to capture this somewhere. But this would essentially create the link. And once they fill that out, I believe there's like a back end here. You see where it says responses?
Hmm.
All the responses would appear here, and that would have the information. And it looks like you can also download this as a CSV, which you would then be able to auto-populate back into your Google Contacts because you can upload a spreadsheet there.
Okay.
So this would be pretty useful for stuff like that if you're just doing something real quickly, just looking for some responses.
Mhm.
I do also recommend when you're doing something like this, you can also create a landing page in Command,
Yeah,
because that would go directly into your database in Command.
we need a class, I think, on that, and also on adding web pages to our website.
Yeah, we can definitely get that set up. Probably for next week, because now we have like a full week, but I can definitely get something on the calendar for next week.
Okay, that'd be great.
So landing pages and website pages. Cool. We'll do that. But you can see here, I can definitely create some sort of lead capture form in here as well. This is another kind of way you can create open house pages too, because I've seen this before at open houses. Somebody would put together a Google form.
Okay.
That Google form is connected with their contacts.
In Google.
Correct. So this I can essentially download after it's completed, and then I can upload it back in the Google Contacts, which would then, if I'm set up with PySync and Command, this would just automatically pull those contacts directly in, and I can label them as like open house contacts. We might have to do another full class just on this.
I was gonna say, please do another class.
I
Because
can definitely spend a lot of time on that. That's why I don't want to like confuse
I
anybody.
want to know about that. That looks good. I
So
want to know.
now, but now you know you have access to that directly in your Google account.
Mhm.
So that's Google Forms. Again, that's something that's also provided for free.
And are those Keller Williams forms that you had originally, are those something that we automatically get, or those are things you already designed?
So those, when I looked at them, it looked like those were provided by KWRI, which would mean that somebody probably uploaded them and they're actually just living inside of Google globally. So you see where it says Keller Williams Realty Inc.
Yeah.
So it looks like somebody actually started kind of like, they might have uploaded some templates at some point. I don't really mess around with this stuff too much. I usually just work off of basic ones, but yeah. Yeah, we might have to do another class specifically, maybe on the Google Forms. Or if anybody had like another tool that they wanted me to cover, is there anything specific that you would want me to go over next time?
right now, so good. I would have to actually play around with it and then send you an email or text
Sure.
about this. But I'm just
Yeah.
I'm amazed at what I'm learning now. So
Cool.
I don't know about else.
Yes, it's on a lot of information.
Cool.
What
Yeah,
about,
but like I said, there is a lot of stuff in here.
We
Debbie,
call
did
it
you have another
drinking-
question?
I just call it drinking from a fire hose.
yeah, I'm actually interested in, like, if you do a YouTube, can you edit it and play with it on Google?
You're saying if you like made a video?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. YouTube actually have like their own kind of like they have like their own editor in here. So they call it a YouTube Studio.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see if I can get into it. You can see I've been watching some of those Barstool Pizza reviews. My favorite. Let's go switch my accounts. I'm going into my KW one now. Basically, everybody, like I mentioned, you all have access to a Google YouTube account. And they have something here called a YouTube Studio. So the YouTube Studio does give you a little bit of video editing capabilities. As you can see here, I don't really go through here too often to edit videos because I usually do that off-site. But here you can essentially manage the videos you've uploaded. You can see the videos you currently have, and you can kind of edit the details on them, as you can see. You can also post live. So I don't know if you guys are aware that you do have a YouTube Live attached with your Google account as well. And this is something you can do directly from the YouTube app. So the YouTube app actually allows you to go live. And I think that would be super useful, especially now if you're doing any sort of virtual open houses or virtual kind of like walkthroughs. You can use YouTube for that. Because once you do it on YouTube, once you have it live, you can have it automatically posted as well. Facebook Live, of course, you can also use. But I think with YouTube, because of all the kind of tools that Google has, it makes it super useful. So YouTube, I think even that would have to be its own class.
Yeah, I'm interested in the YouTube.
Yeah, Luann, I would, yeah, definitely download the YouTube app. Because that's how you can actually use it to take videos as well. One other good thing you can do, and I think I did this in another class, with the YouTube app, you can actually, if you had already pre-recorded videos, you can upload them directly into the YouTube as well. So now I'm thinking we might need to have a couple more YouTube classes, and I'll definitely have to do one of the Google Forms. And we are getting close to the end here, and I want to make sure everybody has time to get into the other Ask Me Anything room. Does anybody have any other questions?
I think also it'd be good to have one even just for the business page too.
Just for the business page?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can do that. I
mean,
believe I might have one recorded that I can also share with you.
That'd be
But
good.
we can definitely get another Google business page class on here.
Or if you have one recorded, or are you trying to put all of the videos that you're recording on? You guys recently just created the BCP video
Yeah.
YouTube page.
So like this video, for example, I'll probably wind up posting in there later.
Okay.
Yeah, we can definitely get one of those on the calendar.
Be
We
great.
do have quite a jam-packed calendar as it is, so that's good. But yeah, we want to make sure we still get a lot of the stuff that you guys are asking for. So good feedback. Any other questions before I get this ended?
That was
Oh,
great.
very good. Thank you, Chris.
All right, awesome.
Excellent.
I
Excellent.
just want to thank everybody again for coming in here.
Thanks, Chris.
Appreciate
And if
it.
you had any questions, you can just reach out to me directly.
Thanks again, Chris. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
Thanks a
everybody.
lot.